heading over to the Catio build. You know, like a cat patio, sort of like a hangout for cats. I'm a couple days into the project, got the roof on, got most of it framed. I will catch you up to speed on what's been going on, and then we can walk through the finishing out of the Catio, you know, all the little cat specific build features of such a space. You don't want to build a Catio that's not cat friendly. You got to build a Catio that's like, you know, it'll work for the cats. Okay, so far what I've gotten done is the framing of the structure, and I put the roof on. The framing is pretty straight up. You've got 4x4s in the ground on all four corners. Then you have 2x6s up top. Those are our rafters. On the right, they are on hangers. And then on the far side, they're on top of the ledger board and attached with some hurricane ties. So it's pretty straightforward framing. And right here, what I'm doing is putting on the cage. You know, you can't have a cat catio without a cage to keep the cats in. The whole point of this thing is to let the cats outdoors, right? So these guys have cats that have been outdoor cats. They had some problems with that and wanted an enclosure so the cats could, you know, like get the most of the outside without being totally free. Okay, so if you're going to build one of these, you've got a few different choices in terms of what you're going to put on the outside. You could go with screen, you could go with chicken wire, you could do construction cloth, anything like that. I went with a vinyl coated fencing just because it's a little more open and kind of airy. It's also affordable, more durable than chicken wire, and it's nice and rigid. The thing about chicken wire is it's kind of like screen. It's hard to get really tight, but the nice thing about a rigid fencing is that you can get a nice tight finished look to it, so it'll end up being really flat and square. Now that got a little funky here because I was making some turns and some angles to incorporate the staircase. Now the deal with the staircase is that, and I've got another video on this, I'll put a card here on the screen. The deal with the staircase is that it brings the dogs and the cats out of the house through the wall. So there's like a little doggy door in the wall. Kind of a cool setup, but it meant that I had to just get a little creative here. That staircase isn't covered by roof, but the rest of it is. It kind of made sense in the larger sense of the build, but it meant that I needed to take my fencing here and make, you know, just kind of like a little triangular section, which was a little bit funky. I'm attaching all the fencing using my air stapler. I think those are like 1 inch staples. I think they're 14 gauge. So good solid connection with that stuff. For this entire build, I gotta say I was a little bit worried that the cats would someday escape. So I doubled down making sure it was really secure. All right, here's a glimpse of the ramp. And that's all I'm going to say. There's a ramp in this build, and you're going to see more about it later. All right, when cats go outside, you know what they need to do. They got to do their business. And I threw down some lime, just straight up barn lime. This is stuff we use back at our farm, in our barn, and the cats seem to like it. And this stuff is like $4 a bag. It lasts forever. It's durable. There's no chemicals and stuff added. It's not like kitty litter with a clumping agent or anything. Anyway, I put down some lime, and that way the idea is that it will sort of attract the cats over to that area. You know, you got to sort of appeal to all of the senses of the cats when you're in the Catio. You need places to hang out, like these pallets, you know, little vertical deck action, places for them to go. And then you also need a potty. You know, you got to have it all. All right, so I upcycled some pallets to make some decking. I could have built decking, but you know, it's always cool to reuse stuff. The nice thing about pallets is they're just, you know, good to go, solid, recycled, and I thought they would work really well for the cats. I didn't want just one surface area for these cats. You know, I didn't want just like one deck. Instead, I wanted multiple levels, places to climb, places to hang out. You know, one cat's over here, the other cat's over there, and I built all that into the Catio. All right, you ready for it? This is a look at the ramp. The ramp takes the cats from the deck, which is above this little addition over on the left side, takes the cats from up on the deck down into the Catio via the ramp. And I put a cage, kind of like a tube, over the ramp so that no squirrely little kitty jumped off the ramp. You know, you could see a cat, like a really cool cat, jumping from that ramp, like maybe over the tree or something. All right, so here's your look at it. It's a tunnel. If you've been to the City Museum in St. Louis, it's a little bit of a riff on what they do at the City Museum, just for cats, not for people and children and stuff like that. All right, the ramp needed a place for the cats to land. So this is the cat landing pad up high. It's up at about 6'4" or something like that. So the cats would come down that ramp and land on pallet number 1. And pallet number 1 was hideously uneven there for a second, but I evened it up and secured it to the frame. All these pallets are screwed in with construction screws to the frame, and then they generally have one more leg just to really stiffen them up. All right, so if that was the tallest pallet, this was going to be the intermediate one that they could ramp over to, kind of hang out and, you know, watch stuff outside, watch birds or whatever, you know, just do the things cats do. And then this would be, the second pallet would be kind of like the place where they could jump down, jump over to another one, you know, that kind of thing. You can tell that what I've been doing here is I'm trying to get inside the mind of the cat. And one of the things cats like, I know, is like scratching posts and organic materials and all that. So I added these cedar tree limbs and, you know, I had to kind of play with them to find out exactly where they went and good places for them and everything. And when I finally got that dialed in, I attached them to everything. They actually provided a little bit of structural support on some of those pallets, which were, you know, not totally wiggly, but a little bit wiggly. And then also the chance for the cats to scratch on them and climb them. All right, here is the final walkthrough on the Catio. And most of this you've kind of seen already, but now it's all finished out. So attach the house in a couple spots up there so it doesn't wiggle too bad. Some long ass bolts, steel roof, steel drip edge. These are the 4x4s that are in the ground, pressure treated. And this is superficial, so this is just laying on the ground just to keep the cats in. That's a pressure treated ground contact 2x4. This is the cage. I went with this instead of like construction cloth just to make it a little bit lighter, a little bit more airy. And this is one of the cooler things over here. These guys have an upstairs patio deck kind of thing. So we got the cat ramp coming down, caged cat ramp, and it comes in on that pallet right there. We'll go in the screen door. There's a big human door on this thing just so you can get in, clean it, you know, hang out with the cats. Also service the air conditioner if you need to. Air conditioner and other utilities are over here, so I left access to all that stuff. Here's the lime kitty potty area, just to attract them. You know, cats like stuff like that to dig in. And the basic route, here's the route. They can come in through this dog/cat door and come down on the ground and go up the ramps and, you know, do whatever. But they can also come down the cat ramp up there, across this walkway. It's just a little tall there because one of the homeowners is about 6'6", so I built it so it doesn't block the door. Then you can drop down on here, and, you know, cats in that case can go just about anywhere. This is some cedar reused pallets right here, and that's just about it. If you haven't seen the video on this dog door, I posted that a while back. It's a dog-cat sort of access door that goes through the wall in the house. That way they don't end up using the back door. All right, thanks for checking it out. And if you hit me with a comment down below, questions, suggestions, whatever, I will be sure to respond.